And in Venezuela, indigenous peoples marched through the streets of Caracas to commemorate the Day of Indigenous Resistance, raising banners of anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism. Let's see the details with Osvaldo Zayas.
Nobody discovered us, we already existed. Claim the indigenous nations that inhabit Venezuelan territory on the Day of Indigenous Resistance, 532 years after the Spanish invasion of Abya Ayala.
Until now, we have still felt invasions against our peoples, and one more day, we demonstrate that we have resistance. We have resisted our indigenous peoples. No more invasions. No more genocide.
We existed. We were not discovered. We, the indigenous peoples and communities, are voices of peace. Voices that from our ancestors we express that we were in our lands, in our spaces, and the Spaniards invaded us on a day like today.
In Venezuela, the indigenous nations represent approximately 2.8% of the population and live in just over 3,000 communities. For them, colonialism continues to exist, although it is changing its forms with the passage of time.
Today we vindicate the existence of the more than 50 indigenous peoples that exist in Venezuela and more than 400 indigenous peoples throughout the Americas in all of our Ayala area. We continue to vindicate that historical struggle that today we see as a new colonialism that tries to criminalize, that tries to make history and fundamentally our indigenous peoples invisible.
The indigenous peoples valued the legislative advances that the Bolivarian Revolution has given them and remembered with affection President Hugo Chavez for having made the native nations visible.
We are here, 532 years of our indigenous resistance. Here we are, the native peoples, made visible thanks to the law given to us by our president, Hugo Chavez.
Commander Chavez made us visible, and for us, October 12th is to thank Supreme Commander Hugo Chavez and our President Nicolas Maduro and tell him that we, the indigenous peoples, are with him, no matter what struggles may come.
The indigenous nations raised the banner of struggle against a colonialism that persists and seeks to crush the cultural legacy and contributions of the original peoples, even after 532 years of invasion and genocide.
Osvaldo Zayas, TeleSUR, Caracas, Venezuela.